diseases. So the first question I'm going to ask is how many of you in the audience know someone who have cancer? How many of you know someone who died from cancer? Yeah. And how many of you know someone who is suffering from high blood pressure or diabetes? Lots of people. Damn. And how many people do you all know that is on dialysis in the black community? There we go. So we see that America, in the American system, there is not what we call health care. There is sick care. Yeah? Health care is where we teach prevention. Sick care is when they say to you, get sick. And then come to try to get better, okay? So before we start on the presentation, now in herbal medicine, I practice Chinese, I call it Eastern medicine. And I combine the Eastern medicine with the Western medicine. And then sometimes I will implement what we call Vedic medicine, this Indian medicine, because they all work in sync. Different kind of principles though. So in our medicine, Hassan, the barks, there are roots and there is barks. Right? Roots, barks. That is the fruit. Back over there. See the back in the front here? So barks. All right? Next one is roots. Got the roots over there. See the root over here? Roots, yeah. Root, that's a flower. Roots. So you have barks and you have roots. So the barks and the roots, they sink. Yeah? So they go into the bottom of the pot. So they work mostly on the bottom of the system. Yeah? And then you have, go ahead, Hassan, you have the leaves and the flowers. Leaves. Go leave over there. Watch me now. Second one over there. Over there. Leaves. So you have the roots and the barks, you have the leaves and the flowers. So the roots and the barks sink, and the leaves and the flowers float. Yeah? That is very imperative if you want to practice good herbal medicine. So we have to know what these herbs do and how they work into the system. Then you have the seeds right there. Seeds. There you go, brother. And then you have the fruits. There we go. Yeah? And all these plants have different energy. And they work in different parts of the body. And that's the reason why when you're practicing herbal medicine, you have to know how the herbs work, what is the energy of the plant, and what is the energy of the individual. Yeah? So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the body like a city. Right? Now, in New York, you have Wall Street, right? Yeah? There we go. She laughed. Wall Street is where the money is at. Yeah? So we're going to go to the screen, my brother. And Wall Street is where all the money passed. You see? So the body's like that. The body's like a city. Says, go ahead. Screen, sir. So we have to treat our body as such. And if you are very conscious, you're supposed to know how our organs work. Because the organs work as a city. Yeah? And we're going to teach you how they work together. Yeah? We're just up on the screen? Yeah. Got it? What is she put? Yeah, so, and the reason why I wanted to use this analogy is because a lot of us just take our system for granted. And we only pay attention when we get a sickness. And then lots of us go in front of a doctor, like an oncologist, and he says to us, you have cancer. Like for instance, Bob Marley. When Bob Marley found out he had cancer, he was very shocked because to him, he was a very good eater, you see? But when he found out he had it, he was amazed, trying to figure out where it came from. Because there is a saying that all of us have cancer cells. And that's not necessarily true. We have cells that die, or they commit what we call in the medical system apoptosis, cell death. If these cells do not die, these cells in turn can change. We call it mutation in the medical system. They can mutate. And when they mutate, they can also now turn into a cancer cell. So to say that we all have cancer cells is kind of a wrong analogy. We have cells that can turn into a cancer cell. And in the process, when a cell turns, if our immune system, which we call our protectors, do not annihilate these cells that is mutating, that's where the trouble starts. We are now going to compare the body as a city, okay? And we're going to go to the first chart. And the first chart is the processing center. You got the first chart? First chart. Processing center. See that? Next chart. Right. Now, in America, yeah, thank you, sir. The biggest seller is Pepto-Bismol. Do you all know that? Yeah? Because the majority of Americans do have troubles in the digestive system. That's where everything starts. So we call the digestive system the earth. Yeah? Made up of four parts, which is the stomach, the pancreas, the small and the large intestine, which we call the fu organs in Chinese medicine. Yeah? So the first part of the earth system is Wall Street. See, it says the processing center, that's the stomach. Now, in the top of the stomach is called the fundus. And in the fundus, when you eat your foods, in the upper part of the stomach, walls, when you eat the food, the stomach expands. And in the process, while expanding, it starts to break down these foods so that the other part of the body could digest or assimilate those foods. So the stomach is, I call the stomach the Wall Street. Yeah, that's where everything starts. So when we go to Wall Street and we eat, the food's supposed to process right there. And then the food goes into the small intestine, but this gland right here, I want you to mark it down for me. Your pancreas is the most active gland in the digestive system. Mark it down for me. Repeat it one more time. Your pancreas is the most active gland in the digestive system because it do two things. It produces enzymes, it produces insulin in the endocrine part of the gland, and it produces enzyme in the exocrine part of the gland. Yeah? Very significant. So if the pancreas is not working properly, you're going to have troubles elsewhere. Right? So the pancreas is part of the digestive system. So it is the second part of the digestive system. Now, when you eat the foods and the food gets into the stomach, the pancreas must send a substance by the name of sodium bicarbonate into this organ right here. So I want you to read what this organ does for me. What does it say? The small intestine, what it does. There we go. It receives males. What is the males? The food that is being digested from the processing center called the stomach. So we receive these males, and it's just like the male people in the post office. They sort out the good males, the one that is more messed up, sort them out differently. Now this organ is part of the digestive system too. So he's the third part of the digestive system. So he will take all the foods and he will remove what is good from what is bad so that you can have good health. So once he removes the good meal and he sorted the good meal, he sends the bad meal to where? To this guy. What does this guy do? Read it for me, please. So he's what? Garbage collector. That's all he does. He only collects garbage. See? So he is dependent on the processing center And then he's also dependent on that third part of the digestive system that helps to do what? To remove the good from the bad. And all the bad is sent to this guy because he's only a garbage collector. Right? So those are the 4 parts of the digestive system. Yeah? This guy. What does he do? Say that for me one more time. What does that mean? What does that mean? All right, he's a filter of the blood. Yeah? But he has to take the nutrients that is coming from the third part of the digestive system called the small intestines. So all the males that are good, he takes the males, the small intestine does that, and send all the good guys to him. And he has to sort them out because he's a filter of the blood. And he has to feed these nutrients to where? So your tissues and your cells. So you can have good health. Now, I want you to ask your question now. Ask this question. How many functions do this guy have? How many? A lot? Give me numbers. Give me numbers. Huh? 500 or more. This guy right here. And that's the reason why I call the liver the amazing organ in the body. Because he does a lot of things. He stores vitamins. He stores glycogen. He releases backward sugar back into the bloodstream. Yeah? He produces bile salts to turn your fat into droplets. If not, you're going to get a fatty liver. Yeah, he controls the pancreas, glucose levels. He is very significant to keep your eyes healthy. He's very significant in keeping the heart healthy. He's even significant in keeping the brain healthy too. So he is the most amazing organ in the body. And that's because he's a filter of the blood. So if he get garbage from the other parts of the digestive system, he's going to mix these garbage with what? Nutrients. And then you have what we call nutrients not going into the cells, but the garbage going in and can't come out. And that's where cancer starts. That's where all diseases starts. Okay, let's go to the other one now. The kidney, what he does? Seawater. Why? Because he's the water organ of the body, in the body. What he does? Seawater. You all following? Huh? All right, he's the water organ of the body. See? What it says. Read it for me, please. Tidal wave. What tidal wave means? When your body starts swelling. Too much water. You can't function because he's the water organ of the body. Yeah? So if he is not being properly fed, then he's going to retain water. In Chinese medicine, they call it dampness. And all of a sudden, your feet going to start swelling. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have trouble in that organ. And that's the reason why in the black community, there are many people who is on dialysis because of the kidney function. Yeah? We go to the next guy. Him. Read him for me, please. He is what we call the fire element of the body, or in the body. So the kidney is the water element, and the heart is the fire element. What out fire? So the kidney controls the heart. You see what I'm saying? Read what it says there on the board. Engine, that's what? Without disruption. There we go. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Plane drop from the sky. what it means in our medicine when a plane drops from the sky. What's the name with your heart? Huh? Heart failure. You're dead. You see what I'm saying? Because he pumps how many gallons of blood per day for us? Give me some numbers. How many gallons of blood does he pump per day? Your heart pumps 1,960 gallons of blood every day. And we only have 5 quarts of blood. Yeah? And 3/5 of the blood is what? Water. You see what I'm saying? So the number one killer of Americans is what? Heart disease. Yeah? Because their heart is failing. Yeah? So we must make sure and take care of the heart, which is the engine of the body. Yeah? And if we take care of the heart, the kidney going to feel better because the kidney controls the heart and the heart controls the kidney. Because the kidney needs 25% of the heart's blood in order for your kidney to remove the excessive amount of water so you don't get a tidal wave. You following me? Yeah? So the body is one entity, it's only different parts. And that's the reason I'm gonna compare it to a city. So you have an engine in your vehicle, right? Yeah? You have oil in your vehicle, right? Without the oil, the engine can't run. You're gonna mess up all your heads. And then you have gasoline, right? And then you have to put water to cool the engine, right? All right, wonderful. So what do you like a city, like a vehicle? Next one, the lung. Tell me about him. What he says. There we go. Who are the passengers? Huh? Who is the passenger he drops off? Huh? Or you're talking slow, or you're talking... No. All right. This organ is the metal element in the body. And the heart is the fire element of the body. What burns fire? What burns metal? Sorry. Fire. So the heart controls the lung. So when the kidney receive what blood? Right, exactly. It's sent it from where? Remember the heart have 4 chambers and the heart have 4 valves. Yeah? There we go. Right and left ventricle. And right and left what? Atrium. Right. And the valve are what? 4 valves. You have to learn them things. So doctors can't fool all here. You see? So you have the aortic valve. You have the tricuspid valve. You have the pulmonary valve. And you have which valve again? Huh? The mitral valve. So when your kidney picks up the deoxygenated blood from where? From the hepatic vein of the liver, is sent it to the right atrium. And then the right atrium sends it to the right ventricle. And then the right ventricle sends it to the pulmonary trunk to go out as what? As what? Carbonic acid. So this guy drops off what? Passengers. Who are the passengers? Carbonic acid. Carbon dioxide. Wonderful. So the passengers that he drops off is what? Carbon dioxide. And he picks up what? New passengers is what? Oxygen. There we go now. See what I'm saying? We learned it, ain't it? And then the oxygen come back in, and he goes where? Into where? The left ventricle. Yeah? And the left ventricle sends where? right? And then it goes to the aorta, and it goes from head to foot. Posterior artery, jugular vein, carotid artery, tibial artery, all in your feet. That's what it does. Move it, the blood, move again. Because they work together. So the lung control the heart, and the heart control the lung. So if there's troubles in your heart, you're going to get trouble in your lung. So if the kidney is not working well, where the water is going to go? Okay, right? The water goes to the heart, right? Is the heart a water pump? So where the heart going to send the water? There you go, man. You're learning. That's good. And you get what? Pneumonia. Because they work together. So he only pick up passengers, he drop them off, pick up new ones, bring them back in again. And he only supposed to pick up only 21% of oxygen from the air, from the atmosphere. No more than that. Because too much oxygen can kill you. That's why we said to a lot of people who do in the gyms, we said do not create oxygen-free radicals because they can be created from excessive amount of exercise. Let me go to the other system now. The endocrine system, what do they do?
Receive and deliver messages once it is processed properly from Wall Street.
Once it is processed properly from where? Where is Wall Street? Where is Wall Street? Where is Wall Street? The digestive system. So the digestive system must be working properly. You must process from the stomach. You must digest from the stomach. And then the food goes into the small intestines. And the small intestines must remove the nutrients from the foods. And in order for these glands to function well, they have to depend on the digestive system to receive the nutrients so that they can send the right messages to the receptors. They are called the endocrine system. And that's why when you have trouble in the thyroid gland, they send you to an endocrinologist. Check the glands. Yeah? Because they work together. Right? One more time. What does the gland do? They're messengers, right? And each gland have what? A what? A receptor. And each receptor must receive the right message from that gland. So if a woman have PCOS, or uterine fibroids, or ovarian cysts, or even breast cancer, for instance, a good example. That woman, estrogen, if she's ER, estrogen receptor, if that estrogen is going into the woman's receptor and sending the wrong message to that receptor, that woman will get what? Breast cancer. Because the wrong messages are being sent. See? That's why hormones are important. They're messengers, but they must send the right message. So if I take a letter and I give it to my brother Hassan, I say, Hassan, I want you to take that letter and I want you to bring it down to Macy's. And Hassan take the letter and he goes to JCPenney. Not the Macy's though. That message gets lost. Hassan gets lost too. And in the process, that's where all the trouble starts. So lots of women who have hyprolactin levels from lactation. Sometimes once the woman is past the age of 50 and she have ER breast cancer, we know, not the medical system now, we know as herbalists that the woman have a problem with her receptors. Because she have, the woman who's over 50, and have ER breast cancer, because the woman who's over 50, she's not producing estrogen. That's why she's going through menopause. She's estrogen deficient. But because she have the H, mark it down for me, HPA axis, endocrine system again. Mark it down, HPA axis: hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenals. Because she's over 50 and she's not producing lots of estrogen, her pituitary gland is not working properly, so her adrenal glands, which is part of the endocrine system, go and say, your pituitary, you ain't working well. Because she's over 50 and you're not normalizing or luteinizing hormone LH and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. So he sent a message to the woman's prolactin receptor. And then the prolactin receptor said, oh my goodness, I am confused, so I am going to send a message to the woman's estrogen receptor. For her who is over 50 to produce lots of estrogen, and then she get breast cancer from that. Or the woman who is under 50 and is producing too much prolactin in the receptor, she gets what? Tell me what she gets in the brain. A pituitary tumor in the brain. So although prolactin is good, if the message is sent too much in the receptors, troubles. The pancreas also. The pancreas have the receptor that receive what? Sugar, right? Am I correct? Now, if you have too much sugar in the receptor of that gland called the pancreas, which is part of the endocrine system, and the insulin come and say, yo, you, Patrick, you eating too much sugars, man, but you have so much sugar in the receptors already, but I want to shook it in there. Or the receptor say, oh, shoot, you can't come in because it's too much already. So he closed the door. And then you get what? Diabetes. And they call it insulin resistance. You follow? So the endocrine system is very significant. They're messengers. And there were plants that the Most High put on the earth for all the glands. We're going to talk about those in a little while, okay? Now, the nervous system. What does it say? Tell me. Electrical spark to the whole of Wall Street. There you go. So there will be no power lost. But if Wall Street is not working properly, the digestive system that is, and he is not absorbing your nutrients, your nervous system is going to suffer. So he would not be able to what? To produce light for Wall Street. And a good example is a vehicle. In your vehicle you have spark plugs, we call them. Then you have electrical wires. If one spark plug is bad, what's going to happen to your car? Start to shake around. Because it must spark. The exact principle with Wall Street and the nervous system. If the nervous system is not being fed from Wall Street, no light. You start getting tingling sensation in your fingers, tingling sensation in your toes, mental disorders, yeah? Anxiety, depression, mood swings, PMS, when you're having your menstruation, or you're crazy. Premenstrual syndrome, what do you call it? Or you don't want to be man around one of your PMS? It's the endocrine glands. Yeah? So that's how the endocrine system works. But there are also plants that the Most High put on the earth for the endocrine system. We can talk about those, okay? The brain. He's what? Tell me what he says. He stores what? Deeds and your birth certificate. The brain does that. So we're in a church today. The Most High God have trillion of stars in the sky. And he can name every single one of them by name. So if he if you believe in a creator now. If he, God, the creator, created you and I in his own image and in his own likeness, to become like him, not to be him now, to become like him, so we can do anything, yeah? If we have 100 children, we're supposed to name them by names, right? So we're not supposed to have dementia. We're not supposed to get Alzheimer's. Yeah? So that's why I said that the body is like a city. Yeah? So when you want to get your birth certificate, where do you go? To the registry. And they have everything inside there. From since 1930, it's there. Memory. I'm making sense, right? There you go, man. Yeah? So we have to take care of the brain. So I want you to look at the back of the brain and say the cortex of the brain. Right in the back of the brain, say the cortex. That I can't really see the screen that well. But in the cortex of the brain, that deals with memory and what? And cognition. So that part of the brain, if it's damaged and is not being fed from Wall Street, nutrients, sulfur is one of them. GABA is one of them. B12 is one of them. Magnesium is one of them. Because they are all found in the cerebral cortex of the brain. If Wall Street is not being worked properly and digesting and absorbing nutrients, he going to suffer too. So you can't remember nothing, although you were made in the image of the Most High. Now the next part of the brain called the what? The frontal lobe of the brain. See right over there by the green part of the brain, the green part of the brain on the front there? He does with what? Personality. So when a person have split personality, something is going on with the frontal lobe of the brain. People who are schizophrenic too, something is going on with the frontal part of the brain. Look at the part that said the ganglia of the brain. See him? He deals with emotions, especially with you all women. You're all emotional, you know. Yeah, especially when you have that period around your period of time, you're emotional like crazy. That's the ganglia of the brain. And then the other part of the brain at the top, that said, I think the patella of the brain that deals with hot and cold. When you touch something hot, that's the brain. See? So we have to make sure that we take care of Wall Street so that he can digest, absorb nutrients, and feed him. So that when we get older, our children do not put us in a nursing home because we have dementia. Because I always tell people, you know, the younger people today, they'll say, oh, you're old people. I say, watch me now, you're getting old too, you know. It's coming. It's coming. And when it comes, and you put your mom or your dad in a nursing home, your kids might do the same thing to you too. So we have to try to take care of the brain so that we don't have our children having us as what? Their responsibility. Right? So the brain is important. Now if you want to prevent cancer of the brain, what they call neuroblastoma of the brain, or you want to prevent aneurysm, blood vessel disease that pops in the brain, we have to make sure that we deal with the heart to help the heart to pump the blood through the circulatory system properly, okay? Who are those? They are your protectors and your healers. We in herbal medicine don't heal nothing. Your body heals itself. That's how the Most High God created this body, so that the body can heal itself. And that's the reason why when you get cut, what happens? You heal. So these guys are your protectors and your healers. They protect you from what? Viruses, cancer cells, bacteria, fungi, parasites. Name them for me. You all can see the board? Name them for me, please. Bone marrow, B12. Romania. Mm-hmm. There we go. Now all these parts of the system that protects you and heal you, they need certain minerals and vitamins in order for them to stay well, because they are your protectors. They are what we call the immune system. So the bone marrow, we talk about the bone marrow, we're going to talk about the yellow marrow and the red marrow. The yellow marrow is more fats, fatty acids. The red marrow is where all your cells are coming from. They're what we call undifferentiated cells. So when a person have leukemia, or the person have multiple myeloma, cancer of the bones, or leukemia, cancer of the blood, or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, or Hodgkin's lymphoma, they all are coming from where? The bone marrow. You see what I'm saying? Because the cells in there is what they call in the medical system undifferentiated cells. They are not mature enough. And they're not mature either because of genetics or because of environmental, or mutation of what? Of the DNA. So what vitamin is next to the bone marrow? B12. And B12 must be absorbed in the digestive system and stored in the liver. And once the B12 gets into the bone marrow, he is like a nanny to these cells when they are undifferentiated. So when you have a baby, the average person in America, at 6 months or even 3 months, you put your child in where? Daycare center. That person who is in that daycare center is supposed to take care of your child, your baby, and nourish that child. And you might leave that child there for a year or two, and after the second year, you move that child from there, and you put her what? Into kindergarten. And then the person who is in kindergarten start nurturing your child, and after kindergarten, they go to what? Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, college. The same principle in the bone marrow. You see what I'm saying? Once there is B12, the B12 act as a nanny to these cells, and once they are matured enough, the B12 said, okay, now you are mature, we call it mature cells, you move into circulation. And it goes where? In the second part of the immune system. Where does it go? Not the spleen. Thymus gland. Right here. He is significant because he is your university. So all the cells are coming from the bone marrow, they go into the thymus gland, and the thymus gland is like Harvard University. That's why I said the body is like a city. And then the thymus gland said, okay, you see you right here, you cell, we call them T cell. Because the thymus gland must produce thymosin that produces T lymphocytes from the bone marrow. And then the thymus gland says, yo, Patrick, I want you to go and kill cancer cells. And I'm moving into the bloodstream, I'm looking for cancer cells. He said, yo, Hassan, I want you to go into the bloodstream and look for viruses, HPV, HSV, HTLV, HIV, cytomegalovirus. Kill them. That's your job. He said, yo, Joan, I want you to go into the bloodstream, look for some parasites and kill them off. That's how it works, you know. And he said, you, Joe, I want you to go look for some bacteria and some fungi and kill them off. That's your job. So you are an accountant. I am a herbalist. Hassan is a lawyer. Yeah? And this lady right here is a builder. Yeah? She's not trained to be a herbalist. I wasn't trained to be an accountant. That's their job. If the same principle in the body when all the cells get into the thymus gland, they have a job to do, different jobs. But because we are not feeding the digestive system, we are not absorbing nutrients properly, these cells cannot work for us. And that's where cancer comes in, because cancer is an immune disease. 80% of the cancers come from the diets, and only 20% from the environment. That's a fact. Yeah? So we must take care of the thymus gland, and we must prevent the thymus gland from shrinking prematurely. Because as we get older, he shrinks, you know, but he don't lose the ability to fight for us. So once you are 15 years old, the thymus is big. And as you start to grow, it starts shrinking. If we don't produce or feed that gland zinc, that mineral called zinc, in the thymus gland is going to shrink prematurely, and then cancer will develop faster because the thymus needs zinc in order for him to stay healthy and prevent shrinking prematurely. Yeah? So they are what? Your protectors and your healers. So they are in your bloodstream, running around every day. They're like police officers. They are your Marines. They are your police officers. They are your Air Force. They are looking for all kind of guys in your bloodstream. And 80% of them is where? 80% of the cells is where? 80% of the cells that's supposed to protect you is where? In your gut. That's where they at. You see? And they only run into the bloodstream and they look and say, oh shit, I see you, boom, gone. That's the key. It's not getting cancer. You have to take care of those. But even though you have a viral infection, like say HSV, HPV, a lot of women have that papillomavirus in the cervix. Yeah? You have to make sure that you have him at peak so he can kill the virus. You see what I'm saying? But when the virus becomes so very wise, the virus goes into the envelope of your cell and he hides, and then the medical system tells you there's no cure. See? So when he's in the envelope, them same guys that are supposed to protect you, they can't see him. He hiding. But the body is so wise, the body produces another substance called, mark it down for me, MHC molecule. Once you increase that MHC molecule, now that MHC molecule goes in and he opens up that envelope. Yeah. And then your cells say, oh, you sucker, there you are. So if you get a letter from Con Edison, and you have the letter in your hands, yeah? Can you tell me what is your bill in that envelope if it's sealed? Yes or no? You can't. You must open that envelope in order to see how much you owe Con Edison. Same principle. You must increase the MHC molecule to open that envelope, and then the cells will kill that virus because now he's exposed. That's one. Number two, if you have a virus coming into your system and your protectors is watching, and say you have a high viral load, you have 2 antibodies, mark them down for me. There's lots of them. One is called IgG, one is called IgM, One is called IgA, and one is called IgE. Yeah? The IgG, IgM, IgD, and IgE. Yeah? The antibodies. So you have a virus come and say, oh, I'm the AIDS virus, I'm coming in, HIV. He comes in, and then all these antibodies, IgG hold him and say, yo, sucker, you can't go nowhere. Yeah? And the virus say, okay, well, I'm going to increase my viral load. So the antibodies say, okay, boom. Good example. If I am in this city right here, and I see this brother right here assaulting my sister right here, yeah? I am not a police officer. So I can go to the brother and say, yo, brother, don't abuse the sister. And if I'm strong enough, I can hold the brother, but I can't lock him up though. Why? Because I'm not a police officer. So I can call 911 and say, yo, officer, there's an abuse happening out here. Come over here, police. Come over here. Lock him up. Principle. When the IgG hold the virus, he can't kill the virus. They're not killers. They can hold the virus to prevent the virus from moving around into your bloodstream. But viruses are very smart. So what happens to them? They start to multiply. Yeah? So now they are on the ground, multiplying like crazy. And the IgG says, oh, shoot, you're a bad guy. I can't handle you no more. Who does he call? Who does he call? He called the Air Force. Example, when America is in Iraq and they got bogged down with the army on the ground, who do they call? They call the Air Force. What the Air Force do? Bomb them out. And then what happens? The guy move in. Same principle in the body. Once that virus is bogged and he become active, then your IgG said, hey, white blood cells, come over here, man. I got this sucker right here. He's enormous. And then your white blood cells come, shh, 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 and they come around in tons of them. Because you have over 500 trillion cells in your body. And they come around. And they start firing chemicals. They call it cytotoxic cells. Like the Air Force. And they kill the virus. Virus is dead now. Now, once the virus dies, the body is wise again. See, God is great, you know. Once the virus dies, then you will have some cells called T suppressor cells. Mark it down for me now. What is the purpose of the T suppressor cell? The T suppressor cells go and say to the bad guys, you say, yo, you killed that virus, man. Shh, cool off, bro. You kill him already. You need to fight no more. If that don't happen, what's going to happen to you? You get long haul COVID. He can't shut off. You get lupus. He can't shut off. Muscular dystrophy. He can't shut off. Myasthenia gravis. He can't shut off. Multiple sclerosis. He can't shut off. You see what I'm saying? Because something is wrong with your protectors. He can't shut off. So because he can't shut off, because your suppressor cells is not in sync with the other white blood cells. But if it's in balance, then the immune system says, okay, suppressor cells, I'm cooling off now. And they cool off because the virus is what? Dead. That's how they work. And when the virus dies, you have another cell called what? T helper cells. And the virus says, yo, they say, come. Something going on in the system. So the T helper cells come and do something. You run into the bloodstream. Looking for the any one of the cells. And if he see any cell that is damaged, he destroy that cell with lysis. Follow me very carefully. And after he killed these cells, the B memory cells, these guys right here, lymphocytes, they come in and they say, you know what? I memorize you COVID. I memorize you chicken pox. I memorize you measles. He cannot come back. That's the reason why they give you booster shots for COVID. Because with the booster shots, the virus keeps on mutating. He can't come back as the same COVID. He must come back as something else. And that's the reason why they tell you when you get chicken pox, you get what when you get older? Shingles. He can't come back as chicken pox because he's already memorized by the B cells. That's how it's supposed to work. So how come we keep on getting viruses and cutting viruses? Because our immune system, our protective is not working properly. So we have to learn. We're going to teach you how to take care of them. All right? Let's go to the next one. We'll go to the criminals now. Yes, lupus, all the autoimmune diseases, right? The autoimmune diseases are very, they're very complicated. We're going to talk about those in a little while. Are we going back up? Am I going, brother? No, we have criminals now. Where the criminals at? Where the criminals at, man? We're looking for the criminals now. Where the criminals at? Find it for me, brother. Criminals. So once we look at it have the next one called criminals. If you're looking at the criminals are what? The criminals are what? Viruses. Let me go. Look at your protectors. They say protectors right there? Army, Air Force, Police Force, lymphocytes, NK cells, cytotoxic cells, enzymes, and the last one is what? Interferon. Interferon is significant, and interleukin 2, 6, and 12, they are significant to kill what? Viruses. And that's the reason why when you have hepatitis B virus, they give you interferon intravenously. But the body produces them. And the body produces what we call enzymes. 3,000 or more enzymes, proteolytic enzymes. Some of them will give you cancer too. But some of them is your protectors too. So those are your army, lymphocytes, NK cells, cytotoxic cells, enzyme, interferon, and peptides. And the last one is what? Go to the next chart, my brother. Hit on the next chart. Them dirty old stinking boy. See them? Criminals. Them are the suckers you got to look out for. What is the first one? Huh? What is the second one? Criminals. Next one. Parasites. Yeast. Fungi. Bacteria. They are the criminals. What is a parasite? A worm. Yeah? So when a woman say, yo, I've been taking care of you for 5 years, a parasite. She means a sucker. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's all they do, they suck us. Yeah, the blood suckers. And they suck, they go into the brain, and they suck out the brain too. Yeah? But if you have a good army, or you have good DNA, or the management of the cells, you can kill any virus, any bacteria, any parasites. So we must go back to the way of the elders. Because the way of the elders is significant. You see? Because the elders knew that around the full moon is when them eggs hatching. You see what I'm saying? Now you have tons of people on social media talking about parasite cleanse and parasite cleanse. The elder has been talking about it for over 100 years to kill parasites. But nobody on social media will tell you you must kill parasites around the full moon, because that's when they're hatching. So you can kill the eggs and the worms at the same time. Yeah? Because parasite can cause cancer. Yeast can cause cancer. Excessive amount of mucus can cause cancer. I want you to mark down a few herbs for me. One is called sheep sorrel. One is called orange peel that you all throw away on a regular basis. Mark it down for me. Don't throw it away. It have limonene. It orange peel, tangerine skin. The families now, they got the same seeds. They what? They have limonene. And what they do? They shrink tumors. But you all throw them away. Cancer is on the rise in the black community. Kidney disease is on the rise in the black community. And the sad part is we don't own the centers, because they know we like to yam yam. You see what I'm saying? And then in our medicine, we have to use the foods and the herbs that is in our environment. Why? Because it corresponds to our bloodstream. And that's the reason we say you have to eat what you grow and grow what you eat. So the best way to prevent them criminals is to keep the immune system healthy, and you must keep on cleaning your system on a regular basis. Because the medical system will tell you, chemotherapy is your choice, radiation is your choice, or surgery is your choice. Yeah? They have their place. So if all these was your choice, why your cancer keep on coming back after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to come back? Why? Mark it down for me. Because you will not get rid of the cancer stem cells. Mark it down for me. Cancer stem cells. They ain't scared of radiation. They ain't scared of chemotherapy. They're not scared of surgery. They're still there. So that's the reason why when the man take off your breasts, or you take off your prostate gland as men, why the cancer keep on coming back? If you get a cancer, because you have the stem cells are still there. Yeah? So there are many plants that is on this earth that can kill cancer stem cells. Black chocolate is one of them. Mark it down for me. Green tea is one of them. Next one. All the berries, one of them. Turmeric is one of them. Yeah? Because in herbal medicine we have food herbs. We have medicinal herbs. And we have the poisons. So in our medicine, what we do is, if Jane comes with a sickness and she says, "Oh, Patrick, I have high blood pressure," I say, "Okay, let's look and see where the pressure is coming from." Once we find the cause of the pressure, we use the plants. When the pressure is gone, we stop the herbs. The herbs should be stopped. Because we don't believe in giving you herbs forever. Yeah? Same with cancer. If you read the scriptures, and you believe in the scriptures, the same Christ said, am I lying, sir? I'm going to quote the scripture right now. Tell me if I'm lying. Am I brother? Am I right there? How? The storybook. Wonderful. Now, when the man came with a demon, am I correct? When the man came with a demon, and he asked Christ to remove the demon from him. Did Christ remove the demon, right? Yes or no? He said, "Come out of him," right? And he sent the demon into the pig, right? Yes. That's what we know. Not supposed to eat no pig. Hog. Yeah? Now, What did he say to the man? He said to the man, go and show yourself to the altar of Moses and give alms, because he was under Mosaic law. If I'm correct, am I correct, sir? Wonderful, right? Under Mosaic law. He said, and don't go back. Hear the word? Do not go back and do the same thing. Otherwise, that devil going to come back with what? 7 more demons, more better than himself. And the state of that man become what? More detrimental, sir. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying earlier? So a lot of people who have cancer, they go back. You can't go back. If you go back, you're going to have problems. So I want you all to go into 3 scriptures for me. When you all go home, Ezekiel 47:12. Genesis 1:29. Revelation chapter 22, verses 2 and 3. And they all talk about these things: seeds, flowers, leaf, fruits for your medicine. Not drugs. Yeah? 47:12 and say, yo, Patrick, when you get sick, go by the doctor, let me give some alfedapine or some Lipitor. He said, go to the seeds and the roots and the barks and the fruits from the tree, because they are for your healing. Yeah? And the last thing I want to say tonight before we leave, because we were taught so wrong in how we use the foods, we're getting sick. The food supposed to be used as what? Medicine. So if the food supposed to be used as medicine, why the same food is getting us sick? Think about that. So when I went to Antigua, I had a meeting with the Prime Minister, Gaston Brown. And the first thing he asked me was, Mr. Herbalist, why we in the Caribbean seem to have the same disease? I said, sir, because we in the Caribbean are eating the same foods. He said, hold on. He go on the phone and he said to his secretary, is the Minister of Health still there? She said, yes. Send him in. And the Minister of Health came in. And he got the Seventh-day Adventist too. And he sit and he said, the Prime Minister said to him, listen to this guy. He said, what did you say? I said, in all the Caribbean countries, all we know is yam, dashin, tania, blogo, fig. Starch, dumpling, starch, yam, starch, potato, starch. And rice, starch. That's all we know. And then they said to us, okay, we want you to eat a pyramid diet. So the majority of you in here, that's what you all eat. You eat a pyramid diet. So you go to the restaurant and you buy, give me us 2 fish, please. Give me an oxtail. And oxtail and no tail, it's cow you're eating, cow tail or you're eating. But oxtail and no tail, it's a cow tail or you're eating with the oxtail. See what I'm saying? You know that. So you go to the restaurant and you order for us 2 fish. What is in that 2 fish lunch? Fish, rice and peas, yam, sweet potatoes, a small amount of salad. Now all these foods are acid foods. Plus the seasoning. So yes, thank you, sir. Acids. And the body function in an alkaline terrain. All the blood stream is alkaline. Venous blood, 7.45. Arterial blood, 7.45. Capillary blood, 7.45. Alkaline. So they taught us about the pyramid diet. So they said, I want you to eat 6 food groups in 1 plate. So I'm saying, well, hold on now. How I'm going to eat all these different food in 1 plate? I come like Babel, confusing my enzymes. Enzymes say, yo, Patrick, you have rice, you have potato, you have fish, you have oxtail, you have peas. Which one I go break down first? He confused. And when he's confused, he is going to cause you to have troubles. So I'm going to leave you with this. Do not eat a starch and a protein together. They don't work together. And that's why cancer is so prevalent in the Caribbean countries. The number one killer of Grenada is cancer right now. Now, when you eat a piece of potato, what happens to the potato? Before we move. When you eat a piece of potato, a starch food, what happens to the starch food in potato when you chew it? It turns into what? Sugar. Because the amylase in your saliva start breaking down that starch into sugar chains. And when you swallow that potato, and you get into the fundus of the stomach, what kills it? What kills the amylase in the stomach? The acid. So the yam cannot stay in your stomach at all. He moves. Because the acid kills the enzyme that breaks him down. And he moves and he goes into the small intestines. And then the small intestines, which your pancreas now, produce a little bit more of the same amylase to finish the process of digestion in all the starches in your small intestine, not your stomach. Eat a piece of fish. Fish going in the stomach, same thing happens. The acid kills the protease that break the fish down, but the fish have a backup called pectin that resists the acid. So all proteins digest in your stomach, not starches. So you've been taught so wrong for years, 20 years. And you eat the foods together, starch and protein, and when they both get into the stomach, the starch say, oh, shoot, I can't move, Patrick. Why? Because the fish is still there. And fish take 12 hours to digest. Chicken takes 7 hours. Beef takes 18 hours. Because when God created you and I, He created us to be vegetarians, not to eat flesh foods. If you believe in a flood, you only started to eat flesh after the flood, not before the flood, because there's no vegetation. So you eat that way, the fish stays in your stomach, and then the yam said, oh, I can't move. He have to wait for the fish to digest first. After the fish digests, he moves, but he's already fermented. So when he gets into the lower burner, called the large intestines, he fermented already, started creating skepol, formaldehyde. And then what happened to you long term? 20 years down the line, you're eating that way. High blood pressure. 20 years down the line, eating that way. Glaucoma. 20 years eating that way. IBS. Bowel disorders. Because you want to talk. I want 4 people to come up here for me. 2 men and 2 women. 2 men and 2 women. Come up here. 2 men and 2 women. Come right here. And they call it genetics. Stay right here, sir, to the next lady right here. And you stay right here, my sister, to this brother right here. There you go, my brother. Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming. Mother, father, daughter, husband. Follow carefully. Mother, cook for father. Mother, teach daughter how to cook. Father, eating the food that mother cooked. Father have high blood pressure. You got diabetes. Bad circulation. Mother, teach daughter to cook. Daughter, feed the husband. Husband has same problem. You follow me? Because she was taught by her mother. And because her mother, husband, started getting all these troubles because she was taught the wrong way by her mother to cook the wrong way, her husband pays the price. And then the medical system call and say, it is genetics. Not genetics. It is what we call a genetic predisposition. If mother teach daughter how to cook, daughter won't get the same disease. My mother died from 2 strokes. And I had a stroke when I was 32 years old. Why? Because I was eating the same way. And I was on 9 drugs. I know all of them by heart. Calcium channel blockers, beta blockers, I know all of them. Yeah? And because I had to change the way I ate, now I'm off all of them. I never got another stroke. And the 3 doctors who said to me, if you don't take the pills, you're going to die. She went to another stroke and dead, all of them dead. You see what I'm saying? Because I changed my diet. So if mother cook for father and she teach daughter to cook, daughter's husband might have the same troubles eventually long term. Thank you very much, my sister. Appreciate you. All right. That's the key. Wonderful. Thank you all for coming. And don't forget 2 things I want to leave you all with. Do not eat in the nighttime. Do not eat and look at television. Do not eat when you're angry at your man or your husband or your wife or your children. Do not eat and go lay down and sleep. Do not eat and talk. Please. Because sleep was created for healing. When you're sleeping, nothing works. Only your ears. Yeah? Don't eat in the nighttime, please. So if you want to get we have a BioLife program, you want to get the BioLife program, you can come give me your email and I'll send you a BioLife program and teach you how to eat the foods together. So you can have a long life. Thank you for coming and blessed love to everybody. Give thanks. Yes, sir. My brother. Hold on to that mic for a while. Yes, sir.
Let's put our hand again together for another round of applause. I think you are prepared for some questions, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
So we just want to invite you to come forward because we are recording and we want to make sure that whatever you're asking, those online are able to also hear your question. All right? So whoever want to come, just come on. Yes, just come.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. My question is, you mentioned about the MHC molecule. How do you correct that? What can you do to improve the MHC molecule?
That's a good question. Now, once we are killing a virus, viruses are very smart. So what we do is we use certain supplements to increase the function of that MHC molecule. And we can use NAC, you can mark it down free, NAC. NAC is one of them. Yeah, we can use glutathione is one of them too. And that is found in the liver, automatically is produced in the liver. And then there's a herb called rosemary. Rosemary. It's a wonderful plant for increasing the MHC molecule. Yeah? And then you can use the vitamin C, buffered vitamin C. Not a regular vitamin C, but buffered vitamin C. Yeah? And what they do, they increase the function of the MHC molecule so that if you have fighting a virus and the viral load is very high, they can open the envelope of the cells and they can kill the virus, okay? Yeah? That's what your virus is. Yeah? Wonderful. Give thanks.
Greetings, blessings. I wanted you to explain the cause of lupus.
Lupus.
And is it true that there is no cure?
Well, it's a wonderful question. There were only incurable people. One more time. There was only incurable people. We fix lupus all the time. And the reason why they say lupus cannot be repaired because they doesn't know the cause of it. I call lupus phospholipid syndrome. Fats. Yeah? Organs are bloated with fats. So lupus is an autoimmune disease that can affect the tissues, which is SLE and discoid, and won't affect the face. Now remember we said before that you have cells, and all your cells bathe in liquid, alkaline liquid. So usually when the organ becomes bloated with fats, and the fats cannot really move to go anywhere because they're stored in the adipose tissue sometimes, they move and they go into the cells itself, or in the cell membranes. Now in your cell membranes, there are 3 prostaglandins. We call them PGE1, the good guy, PGE2, the bad guy, and PGE3, the bad guy. So once you have lupus, you start producing PGE3 and PGE2 in the cell membranes. That's what I said, phospholipid syndrome. So then all the nutrients that's supposed to go into your cells they become inadequate. And then only waste matter going into the cells and can't come out of the cells. And then automatically, you get what we call intracellular acidosis. And then the immune system says, I'm bathing in acids, so I'm going to be overzealous. So he become overzealous with too much mucus in the mucous membranes, excessive amount of mucus. And then he starts saying, okay, well, I'm going to attack your tissues. This called lupus. I'm going to attack the skin. They call it SLE lupus. I'm going to attack your muscles. They call it muscular dystrophy. I'm going to attack your joints. They call it RA, rheumatoid arthritis. I'm going to attack the myelin shear of the nerves. They call it multiple sclerosis. You see what I'm saying? So that's what causes lupus. So lupus is a phospholipid problem. So if you go to the medical dictionary, no causes. But there's one dictionary that come close to what we're saying, fats. Too much fats. So the organ become bloated with fats. And then the immune system become overactive. So what we do is, we use amphoterics. Mushrooms are immune regulators. Yeah? God isn't stupid. You know what he was doing. So the immune regulators go in, and they start regulating the immune system back again. So amphoteric means that if the immune system is overactive, normalize the immune system. If it's suppressed, normalize it again too. Turmeric does that too. So turmeric is good for lupus. Ashwagandha is good for lupus. Shiitake good for lupus. Lion's mane good for lupus. So we have what we did was we put them in a formula called balanced immunity. So that we balance back the immune system, and then you fix your lupus with the mushrooms. Okay? You have a question, sir? Hello? Yes, sir?
For the B12, right?
Yes, sir.
Off the mic, please.
You had a stroke, my brother?
Yes. I'm journeying from Hartford, Connecticut. Me and my
Okay.
two friends.
Wonderful.
For the B12, right? I was reading up some stuff that some of the ingredients in the B12, they're like cyanide
Yeah.
and other like flow agent fillers. What is the best B12?
Sublingual B12.
Pardon?
Sublingual B12.
Sublingual.
Sublingual B12. You're going to put it under your tongue, it dissolves.
Okay.
Liver accepts it. And number two, that's a good question though. Number two, when you're looking for the B12, don't look for B12C. Look for B12M. There's a difference. Yeah? So look for the M instead of the C. And then there are good companies or then there are bad companies. So a lot of companies are owned by Pfizer. So Nature's Made, a beer, owned Nature's Made. You know what I'm saying? Pfizer own another regular vitamin that we buy on a regular basis. Yam have cyanide too.
Yam?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Peach seeds have cyanide. Apricot seeds have it too. You see what I'm saying to you? So, like formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is dangerous too, but the body produces formaldehyde. But if you have them, if you're going to use them in abundance, they can harm you. So that's why in the Caribbean countries, what they do is they take the yam and they make cassava from the yam. But while making the cassava, they remove the cyanide. You see what I'm saying?
So
But if you have cancer, I'm using the peach because peach seed is good for cancer too. Because we are trained, we have to know how much of the cyanide is in the peach seeds, cut down on the dosage, so that the person will have a bombardment of cyanide. It's just like certain plants, for instance, foxglove. Foxglove is a very important herb for the heart. If your heart is failing, they put it in a drug called linoxin or digoxin, same drug. But you can't use the foxglove alone because it's very dangerous to your heart. So you have to know what the compounds of the plants are. Alkaloids are very dangerous. So although some plants have alkaloids, we the herbalists will know how to use the alkaloids in the plants. See? So for instance, a good example. Licorice is a good herb for your stomach. It's bad for your heart. Yeah? But it's good for your glands. But we know that it can cause your pressure to rise because it make you retain sodium. You see what I'm saying? So we have to know as herbalists what herb you can put with licorice to prevent that side effect of that herb. You see what I'm saying? Yeah?
So I heard that if you have high blood pressure, you're not supposed
I
to.
had it. I don't have it no more.
No, if you're not supposed to take licorice, is it true?
You know, you're not supposed to know. That's what I'm saying, because it make you retain sodium. But as I said before, if you are a good herbalist, you can mix the licorice with other plants, and the other plants will liquid the side effect of that plant. Yeah?
Also, can you differentiate a bad tablet from a good one, like if it has in fillers?
What you got to do for me is when you buy a vitamin tablet, put it in some warm water. If it bubbles, fillers. If it don't bubble, there's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
If the capsule, you will see the capsule start melting. Yeah, it's going to start melting. The capsule going to start melting. Oh yeah, in warm water, not hot water, warm water, not hot water. Yeah. Well, what you can do too, you can take out the capsule and just put it in the water too, and you will see all the little sticky balls that come on the top. That's no good either. See, because a lot of companies use fillers and binders in their products. You know what I mean, like talc and talcum and aluminum. They use those products. They use their products too. So we have to look for good companies. So I look for companies that are run by doctors, like Allergy Research Group, Douglas Laboratories, Karuna. They all are good companies. Yeah, yeah. So my brother, you had high blood pressure?
Huh?
You had high blood pressure?
no, unfortunately, when I was like 17 months old, I got a gunshot wound forehead, so it affected.
Would affect your,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, okay,
my right
okay.
side.
You're not taking any therapy, physiotherapy?
Back then,
Yeah?
when I was back home, yeah.
Okay, you ever tried acupuncture before?
No.
Hey, let's try acupuncture. The acupuncture is right there.
Okay.
Fix your arm, man. Yeah, you should try acupuncture, okay? Yeah, it will really help. Yeah? Okay? All right, my brother.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for sharing everything. I wanted to ask you if you could just like quickly summarize Crohn's disease
Crohn's disease.
and a naturopathic care plan that could hypothetically be dealt with.
You could talk a little.
Hypothetic care plan relating in relationship to Crohn's disease.
All right. Crohn's disease is dangerous.
Okay.
It is the most dangerous digestive disorder because it can kill you. You see what I'm saying? Because with Crohn's disease, it is in the large intestines. So what it does, it eats up the walls because of acidity. And sometimes because the immune system too, that's overactive. So sometimes they give you steroids, prednisone, when you have Crohn's disease. When you have Crohn's, the Crohn's will make you suffer with malabsorption. That's why you lose a lot of weight, because you can't absorb. Because when you have all this acid in the large intestines, it's like eating up the walls. So you're going from the sigmoid, which is down here, yeah, and the descending is right here. Then you have the transverse colon over here. Then you have the ascending here, yeah. So what the Crohn's disease do is that eating up all the walls. So then you can't absorb anything. So you start to have lots of diarrhea, blood in the stool, yeah? And all because in the large intestines, the pH is 7.8, alkaline. Yeah? So you will have all these other conditions stemming from the Crohn's disease because now the immune system is eating up, helping to eat up the walls, plus acid is eating it up too. So what we do with Crohn's disease is we use Chinese herbs. There's a brother have a company called Health Concerns. And the reason why he created that company with Chinese plant because he had Crohn's and he repaired it. Yeah? So when you have Crohn's, you can't use lots of fiber. No, you can't, no. So what we do is we rest the digestive system. See? And we make sure that we go and we start to heal the lining back of the intestinal walls. There is an amino acid called L-glutamine. That's the first thing we use. And then, because Crohn's is like a sore, like an ulcer in your belly, in your intestines, we use the Mulsanne plants. So the Mulsanne plants are plants that soothe the tissues. See? This, the Mulsanne plant, sea moss is one of them. Slippery M is one of them. Aloe is one of them too. Because they're kind of jelly. So what they do is they soothe, right? They soothe the lining of the intestines. And then we use that astringent plants. So while astringent and the Mulsanne soothes and astringent heals. You see what I'm saying? So when we soothe in the tissues, we use the astringent plants now, and then the astringent plant go in and they start healing the tissues. And in the process, we give you some herbs that act as amphoterics to cool on the immune system. So you rest in the intestines. Yeah? It's a very difficult condition to repair, but we can repair it, you know? Yeah? Okay, my brother? Peace, man.
Good evening. Patrick, big up yourself, Virgin. Long time I follow you and share your video them and chat about you and drop asleep and watch your video them. So I want, you know, it's a joy to be in your presence, you know. I've come to respect you.
Thank you.
Patrick, can you speak on ALS for me a little bit? Is it, I mean, we know the survivors rate 5 to
3 years.
3 years.
To 5 years. Yeah.
2 to 5 years.
Yeah, but Donovan is living now 12 years.
Yeah. So share what you can on that. I have a friend who is suffering from it in JA right
Well,
now.
I'm just treating a brother from Jamaica who came to New York a couple of weeks ago, and he's have ALS. He didn't lose his speech yet, but his muscles are very weak. He's doing much better now. You know, so ALS is called Lou Gehrig syndrome. Because they call it Lou Gehrig's because Lou Gehrig is the first person that had it. So that's what it says, Lou Gehrig syndrome. You see what I'm saying? Right. So what ALS is like muscular dystrophy. So it affects the speech. It affects your muscles too. Yeah? And there's a brother in Grenada, California, who had it too, and he couldn't close his eyes. You know, so what we do for, when the brother from Jamaica came, his name is Donovan. I think I have him on my page. He came to Grenada. And he had trouble speaking because he had ALS. They gave him 3 years to live. And what we did was, we gave him, the first thing we did was a heavy metal cleanse. Yeah? And after the heavy metal cleanse, we did a parasitic cleanse. So he used to come up in a vehicle and he couldn't come out, he'd have to walk with a walker. So this other brother came to see me one day and he saw him come out with the walker. He said, oh, shoot. He was amazed. And then we were talking about teaching him how to hold the cups. You know, because when you have Lou Gehrig syndrome, it's like the brother here, with the bad hand, you have to put one hand to hold the other hand. So we was teaching him, we have it on video on Facebook, you can look at it. And you can see him holding the cup and drinking. He's still living up to this day. He came to Grenada in 2015 from Jamaica. His name is Donovan. So when you have Lou Gehrig's, because it is so dangerous and they say there's no cure, they seem to give you a 3 to 5 year survival rate. But what we do is, the first thing I do is a heavy metal cleanse. Because lots of people who have ALS, they have heavy metal in the brain. They have heavy metal in the spleen. They have heavy metal in the kidney and in the liver. Because aluminum like the spleen and mercury like the brain. So once we could get the heavy metals out, and we go to the frontal lobe of the brain, and we deal with the cerebral cortex of the brain that deal with cognition, then the person will start to speak a little better, although cognition is very hard to get back in terms of the speech. You know, it's very difficult to get it back. But you can still at least slow a little bit. You know, like the brother who have Parkinson's disease we treat him now, he's still slurring, but you can hear when he speaks, you can hear the words now, because it's even if you give him a cleanse. So that's how we treat ALS. You know, and then we give him what do you call plant-based protein to build back the muscles, to shrink back the muscles. And then while we do that, we give him the mushrooms. And then we give him the nervines. So we're looking at skullcap, lady slipper. Yeah, those are plants that, fusheng, they are Chinese plants that we use for ALS. And then once we get the nerves back and the muscles back, they don't tumble and stuff like that, you know? So that's how we treat ALS, yeah? Must do a heavy metal cleanse, must do a parasitic cleanse. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Sure.
I don't want to belabor this or take up all your time. But my daughter, the reason why I asked about lupus is because my daughter is suffering from lupus.
What type of lupus she have? This called
She has
SLE.
SLE,
SLE she
flexor
got.
muscles.
Okay.
Yes. And what's happening now is it's hard for her to digest. She's,
Right.
it'll be a little personal, but she's always in the bathroom for a long time and not
Mhm.
able to eliminate. And her
Right.
stomach gets very hard.
Right. That's her liver.
That's her liver?
Yes, ma'am. And when she have lupus, she have to be very careful because lupus can damage her kidney.
She was able to remove herself from at least 30 medications,
Mm-hmm.
and she's down to one. She was on steroids. She even was said to seem to be having a heart attack. She was working and left the job in a wheelchair. They had to call an ambulance for her. So she was suffering from it, and it's also in my family.
Okay.
My aunt, I think 2 aunts,
Right. So
and a
you-
cousin,
so you-
maternal side.
So you have what we call a genetic predisposition.
Say it a little louder.
You have a genetic predisposition in your
Yes.
family.
Yes.
Yeah? So what with lupus, what we do is we put a person on a 30-day mucusless diet program. Mucusless diet program.
Yes.
Yeah, no mucus in the system. Because once you're going to fix lupus, you have to get rid of excessive amount of mucin from the mucous membranes. That's important. And then we have to go to the cell membranes. And because we know from what you just said a while ago that she's constipated, we have to go there first. Because if we don't repair her constipation, we can't fix her lupus.
She also has Crohn's, what you just talked about. She has at least 7 conditions, at the very least. Raynaud's, the eyes. She has to stay in a dark environment. Believe it or not, she's also very active, and she works and is a dancer and an educator, and she lives in Senegal.
Right, because the immune system is very overactive, and that's what I said earlier, that when the immune system is overzealous, that's what they call it in the medical system, it can kill us. And that's why I said earlier in the presentation, the immune system are like the criminal, they're bad. They're dangerous. That's what they're there for. So they can protect us, and they can kill anything for us, but they can kill us too. You see what I'm saying? See, and that's what the medical system is so hypocritical, because they know for a fact that your immune system could kill anything. Yeah? They're dangerous. So that is the reason why they're so dangerous that when you have lupus, they start damaging your kidney. That same immune system start damaging your lung, start damaging your liver. Because they're dangerous, they start firing. And that's the reason why a lot of people who have lupus, they have this butterfly on the nose. It burns the skin up. See what I'm saying? That's how dangerous the immune system is. So what we have to do for her is to not turn off the immune system, because what they do, they suppress it with steroids. So steroids say, okay, I'm suppressing you. That's okay, because she don't have the symptoms though, but she can't fight cancer if it comes, because the immune system is suppressed. She can't fight the virus if it comes in, because the immune system is suppressed. You see what I'm saying? So anything that's coming into her, she got to take them shots because she can't fight anything, because the prednisone or the steroid suppresses the immune system and inflammation. But in herbal medicine, we use plants that act as amphoterics, meaning that if the immune system is overactive, balance it back. If it's suppressed, balance it back. We call them balanced immunity and mushrooms. Yes, and then once we can fix her digestive system and prevent the bloated organs, day by day, she don't come off the medication though. She can't come off like that. We have to wean her off.
She takes Benlysta, if you're familiar with that. That's the only thing she takes. It is an injection.
Right, I'm saying, but she can't stop it like that though. I'm being very honest, because it's not an overnight fix.
Yes.
Cancer takes 10 years to develop. So a woman might have cancer in the breast and don't know she have it. 10 years a day. And then she might just walk, like my sister, and just rush the door, and she feel a lump. It's been there growing all the time. So when you have a disease like lupus, it takes a little while to repair it. So what we do, we don't take the person off the medication. We wean them off gradually. Yeah? And then we look at the days when they're not taking the medication, how they feel and what they do. And if they're feeling better, Then we skip days, 2 days, and 3 days, then we wean them off.
She
Yeah?
has chronic pain, and she said it always feels like the flu.
She got chronic pain.
Chronic pain.
Right. Well, there's a herb called Jamaican dogwood. She's a herb called Jamaican, it's a Jamaican plant. It's called Jamaican dogwood. Very good for pain.
Is it hard to find here?
Look it right there. See there?
Good. That's what I want to know next. What do I buy?
Jamaican dogwood, you have white willow bark, because they take white willow bark and make aspirin. So aspirin comes from white willow bark.
That's a
And-
wonder drug.
Yeah, and
I
then they,
live by aspirin.
yeah, and then they take the cocoa plants and make Novocaine. You see, so a lot of these drugs come from plants. So there's 121 drugs that come from plants. So what we do for pain is we either do acupuncture, which is also good too, and so according to where the pain is coming from, we can do the K2, we can do the LI, we can do the GB meridian. Sister, they will know what I'm talking about. And then they will help to stop the pain too. And then we use the herbs like white willow bark, Jamaican dogwood, white wintergreen, black cohosh, if it's nerve pain. You know, and there's a lot of them. There's another one called Indian pipe. That's good for pain too. And we mix the herbs together, and then if the pain is in the nerves, we can use the Annika ointment and rub it on the nerve, the pain goes away. So, and so we have to know what's causing the pain, you know? Yeah? But the pain can go away.
And I heard you mention medicinal, and she has to use medicinal just to get through the day.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, you can't come off the medication like that, you know? It takes a little while to come off. You have to wean yourself off. So I don't teach you see, a lot of herbalists call me, they call me a commercial herbalist. Because they say I work with doctors. So you have to work with doctors. You must.
Yes.
You have to work with them. You know, that's one of the negativity of Dr. Sebi. I love the brother, but he never liked to work with doctors. You see what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people who had cancer that he treated, and they still died. I mean, they won't say it publicly, because I have patients who died from cancer too treated, so I won't come online and say, oh, my patient lived. Because, you know, some people are just too far gone. So usually, if you're doing, trying to fix a patient, we herbalists can't take blood work. We can't do MRIs. We can't do CAT scans. We cannot do ultrasounds. That's their job. You see what I'm saying? And that is where they're good. The medical system, that is. Other than that, they ain't doing shit. They don't fix nothing.
Well,
But
fortunately for my daughter, her doctor had autoimmune. He was a male, but he was able to relate to her. And he was the only doctor out of at least 10 who she went to who was able to diagnose it.
Yeah, you
She
see,
knew right
doctors-
away that she had lupus.
Doctors like Dr. Sebastian Peters, you know, these brothers are exceptional brothers. Dr. Cadiz, Dr. Francis Martin, Dr. Osu from Nigeria. These are guys, Dr. Daigo Humphreys, a cardiologist. So if a patient comes in and they have heart failure, or they have left ventricular hypertrophy, or afibrillation, I call him, because he's a heart specialist. See? Although I know about the heart, but he is trained there. So I would say, you know, the person have left ventricular hypertrophy, which can cause congestive heart failure. What do we do to help with herbal medicine? All right, you know what to do, Patrick? Keep them on Atenolol for the time being until you can fix the atrophy, and then see what happens. And that's what I do. And then the patient get better results, and we take them off the drugs, and they get better.
Do you know why lupus affects mainly African-American females of childbearing age?
If what?
Childbearing age.
Uh-huh.
That's the highest percentage of lupus victims.
Yeah, lupus affect more women than men.
Right, it
Yeah.
does.
At childbearing age. But men get lupus too. I'm treating
Yes,
a brother
they
who
do.
have lupus.
We've met many of
But it's
them.
more women though. You know, because women are more big bam bam. Now it sounds funny, but you know, a lot of us, damn, she got a nice ass, man. Whew. Hormones. You see what I'm saying? So because the women are more prone to have trouble in this gland, the thyroid gland. You see what I'm saying? Because it is a gland that is very significant in terms of you gaining weight or losing weight. See what I'm saying? So if you have lots of hormones in the thigh, in the butt, it's a possibility that the liver cannot convert that estradiol, which is the angel of death, and the estrone, which is the angel of death, into the estriol, which is the angel of life. And then you start to have all these troubles. So that's why women is more prone to getting lupus, okay? Yeah?
This is my last question, and then I turn it over to her. For us men, right? As we get older, our prostate get enlarged. So what's the herbs that we could take to like?
Very good question. In 1999, 235,000 men was diagnosed with prostate cancer. 235,000 men. 1999 alone. And we lost 25,000 men to that disease. Now, it's affecting younger brothers in the 40s. I know because I see them every day. Now, the prostate is a walnut gland. Look what it does. That's it. Secretes that prostatic fluid to get into our testicles, to give our that sperm the good velocity. Yeah? That's what it does, you know. But it needs a few things to function. Zinc is one of them. Zinc. Sarpan is one of them too. See? So when zinc is in the prostate secretes that fluid better. The problem with us men, because now we have over 35,000 men dying from prostate cancer every year in America alone. And the Caribbean full of it too. In Jamaica, it's even worse. The problem with the Jamaican man, yeah.
You went down there the other day or didn't
Yes.
Huh?
Did you go to Jamaica?
Yeah, no, I didn't go to Jamaica. I'm going in October. You know where I was Jamaican man? The doctor said, yo, push on your body, boy. Ah, shit. They're afraid of that one. Jamaicans have bathyphobia. And I understand. But now we have ultrasounds now that can pick up the size of the prostate gland if it's more than 4.5 centimeters. See what I'm saying? Secondly, when you're 15, 20, 25, you 5 times per night, you come on, man. As you turn your raise, as you ejaculate your raise again, because you're producing sperm every day. So when you hit 30, that's it. Yeah. At 30 years of age, you do not produce sperm every day, you produce sperm every 3 days. So you have the woman, she say, oh, I'm sex. You give her Monday, you give her Tuesday, you give her Thursday. You ain't killing that. That's killing you. It's reality. So then you ain't no better because you must remember that you cannot kill the pussycat. It have 9 lives. We only have 1. Now I'm being blunt because big people here. And we see a lot of our brothers coming in to me in the 40s and 30s and with ED, erectile dysfunction. You see? And then we have the penis is right here, right? Right under the penis is called the pineal artery. Not the pineal artery, so the pineal artery. Then you have the vein, right? The valve. Now when the blood goes into the penis, the artery have to keep the blood in the penis, right? And then the valve had to stay closed so that the blood could stay in the penis. Now lots of brothers have plaque in the walls, atherosclerosis. So when they get an erection and they go into the pussycat, they fall on, whoop. The woman say, what going on, boy? I'm stressed. You're lying, you're stressed. No. Well, that is just to clear up the arteries, though, but not for your prostate. In order to keep the prostate healthy, I believe in doing prostate exercises. So I just exercise my prostate, you know? And then number 2, when you go and stand on the toilet bowl as a man, don't put your feet on the ground. There you go, bro. Because that waste go into the capsule and mash up your prostate too. And then what the doctors do is, the doctors will do what we call a PSA for us men. And if it's high, they will say, let's do a biopsy. I don't believe in biopsies, you know. If the PSA is high, you don't have to have prostate cancer. If the PSA is high, you can have prostate cancer too. You can have prostate cancer with a low PSA too. They don't tell you that. You see what I'm saying? So we have to look at how we treat our prostate gland. When you go home, take off your underwear. Make your balls jump around. Just like the woman, I always tell women, when you get home, take off all your bra. Make your titties jump. And that's because when your bra is on, it restricts circulation. And your prolactin levels start going higher, you start getting breast cancer long term. And black women full of breast cancer too. So we men have to take lots of herbs like, you know, saw palmetto, pygeon bark, butchu leaves, nettle roots, white sage. They shrink the prostate gland. Look at it here, man. We have everything up. Hassan, come now. My brother. That's my brother Hassan right there. We have everything prostate cleanse. We have everything a prostate cleanse. Look for the prostate cleanse for the brother right there. Prostate cleanse. See to the right, see butchu leaf inside there. Have everything in there, man. That's what I take every day. Lupus is balanced immunity and mushroom, super mushroom. So you take that now, right? Watch my brother. When you take prostate cleanse, you must take zinc with that. If you have prostate, right, if you have prostate cancer, that's totally different though. You know, but if you have, just to keep the prostate healthy, that's what you take. And it keep your, when you go to the bathroom, you don't have the drip, you see what I'm saying? Because your peeing is supposed to wake up in the morning with a pee hard. So how come after a certain age back we don't get a pee hard in the morning? Something is wrong. So you can take a stamp and stick it on your penis in the night before you go to bed. You get up in the morning, the stamping break, something wrong. So chick. But yeah. But that's because no, we our young brothers know they don't understand what the prostate is all about, and that's why a lot of the older men have what we call remember stoppage of water. We didn't know what it was. It was a prostate, because the prostate become enlarged, and it squeeze the urethra that carry the urine, so we can't pee. So I don't mess around with my prostate, man. I take care of my prostate. When you take out your prostate, your sex life dead, you're like Lazarus. Can't come back. Even Christ come, you can't raise it back either. There you go. No, seriously. Because a lot of doctors fool you, want to make you all feel, you take out all your prostate, or you have sex in a couple of months. That's not true. It ain't going to happen. And then what they do is they take out the prostate gland, and then they give you an injection for 3 months. Every 3 months they give you an injection to stop the testosterone, because that's what causes our prostate to become cancerous. It converts. Then when the injection stops working, they say, you know, we're going to castrate you, take out your testicles. So you take out your testicles now? Dead and dead. And then what happens to you now is he put your adrenal gland in overdrive. No testicles now. Because he produced testosterone too. And then he said, adrenal's going to overdrive. He gives you some estrogen injection. Titties get big like that. The woman had to come and suck your titties now because you have to suck shit. That's what it is. So we have to learn how to take care of the prostate gland, because a lot of our young brothers are going to have more trouble with prostate cancer eventually. And it's happening regular now. We having brothers in the 40s, late 30s, that is coming with prostate trouble, and they're dying from it faster because it is more aggressive. Older person. Okay? Yeah, my brother. All right, wonderful. That's it. Oh, sister.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming from the Bronx.
Yes. Good evening. I was recently diagnosed with high blood pressure and diabetes. It's been 3 months. And so next week I find out, I went and got new blood work done, and I find out my results next week. I've changed my eating habits. I dropped 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I eating more vegetables, proteins. I feel my blood pressure is not like it. I can't get it down, and they gave me what's the name of it? Lisinopril, and I don't want to take it because I don't want to have to get off it or have to wean myself off it.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, let me do the celery juicing and the beets, And I'm doing also, I take nitric oxide, I eat watermelons, but it's still, the doctor tells me they're like stroke numbers. So my question to you is, what should I do? Should I just take the medication and then continue there, or just continue what I'm doing? I'm even eating raw garlic every day, and it's still not going down.
Well, the different types of hypertension. So there's essential hypertension. And that is when the doctors say there's no cause of it. Then there's gallbladder hypertension. There is endocrine hypertension. There's preliminary hypertension for the lung. It's a lot of them, you know. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know where it's coming from. If you have trouble in the arteries and it's clogged, you can get that too. If you have a fatty liver, you can get hypertension too, or diabetes too. You see what I'm saying? So Zestril, linezolid is a herb called Zestril. It's an ACE inhibitor. What a drug do, it drop your pressure, but it make you retain potassium. Yeah? And it depletes zinc from your body. So what they do with linezolid, they have to give you a water pill to remove the, see, you know what I'm talking about? I used to take all of them, so I could tell you. Yeah, look it over there. I know all of them by heart. So they give you a water pill, the water pill do so, and you just get rid of the potassium, but you start losing lots of potassium now, so they, oh, okay, let's give us some slow K. So they give you a drug called slow K. Put the potassium back. So what we do is we put you on a program. I create programs. So I put you on a high blood pressure program, and I make you take your medication though, but you have to guide you. So I will put you on a program, and I will look at the drug you're taking, and I will look and see if you have a blocked blood vessel. And I will strengthen your blood vessels with plans. And then I will look at your carotid artery. This one here, this one here. This one make blood come to the face. This one make blood come to go to the brain. I look at those and I clean them up. Sometimes your pressure could be coming from mercury in your mouth. You see? Sometimes your pressure can be coming from stress. That's from the endocrine system. Yeah? So we have to look at all that. So what I do is, because we try to speak to you, and if I'm speaking to you, I could tell you, you look at your pressures come from that source. Then I put you on a program. And with the program, if the pressure is over 150 systolic and over 90 diastolic, that's high. So I will keep you on the medication. Yeah? And then I will make you take the medication every other day while you're on my program. So my program is magnesium, folate acid, taurine, CoQ10, yeah, horton leaf and flower. And what these herbs do, they give your heart a stronger contraction, but they prevent plaque from forming on the wall of the artery, and they drop your cholesterol. And you check in for me every day. You have to have a machine. So every day you check the sugar, the pressure. Every 3 days you say, okay, Patrick, my pressure read good on Monday when I'm taking the medication, good on Tuesday when I'm not taking the medication, good on Thursday when I'm not taking the medication, and good on Saturday when I'm not taking the medication. And I say, okay, you're good for 3 days without the drugs, skip another day. And you skip 2 days. And you check in again. You must check. And you're doing a program. You're looking at what you're eating, and you say you drop some weight. And then you call again, numbers. And then I say, okay, skip another day. You skip till you come off the drugs. After you come off the medication now, I keep you on the herbs for 1 month. Then I take you off. And I said to you, okay, sister, control your pressure by diet and exercise. You don't come back. And I was on 6 drugs. I could name all of them. Atenolol, like alfedipine, Zestril, linezolid, all them pills is inhibitors. Hydrochloride, they're good for black people. They give us that drug. They say we respond better to that drug, that water pill called hydrochloride. Yeah? So we're going to talk after. I'm going to send you the program. You're going to look at it. And then let me know what you want to do, and we're going to take care of you, okay? Yeah? Right?
Another
You don't want to damage your kidney.
I'm sorry?
High blood pressure could damage your kidney. To be careful, okay? Both of them diabetes also. Did you do a blood analysis to look and see if you have too much glucose in the urine or protein in the urine?
They did find protein in the urine.
In the urine? Okay. And that could damage the nephron of the kidney, okay? So you can do a kidney flush, and let's flush them out, and you're going to be good. So we can talk after the program. Yeah, you have another question? You
Okay,
said?
one more question. The apricot seed,
Mhm.
I started taking it. I wanted to know if it's good to take as a preventative.
Mhm.
I eat like 2 seeds a day.
Mhm.
I had asked you online, and you told me to do, I think you do a few weeks, and then you take a week off.
Yeah, because of the cyanide content, as the brother was saying a while ago.
Right.
Mhm.
So do you recommend to take preventatively then?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm a preventative guy. I don't want to get cancer, so I prevent it. So like last night, I take a cleansing. I clean my whole digestive system out. And today I haven't eaten or drinking anything. I haven't drink the water, I drink no coconut water, I eat no food today. I'm going to just drink tomorrow. So that's what I do on a regular basis. So what we have to do, because we live in a country that have 4 seasons, you have to prepare the body to clean the system out for every season. So you see the fall coming out now? We're going on a yeast and parasiticlins from the 3rd of September. And then when the 24th of December come, we bring in another season, which is the winter. And then the April come, we bring in the spring. And then we bring in the summer. So for every season, we must do a cleansing. So that's what I do. So that's why I prevent it. So I just take apricot seeds to be 17.
Okay.
But I don't take them for long. I just take them when I'm doing my cleansing and my juicing, and then after I stop. You know? Yeah? So prevention is better than cure, because curing cancer is very difficult, you know,
Right,
and it's very costly
right.
in the medical system and in the herbal system too, okay? Yeah?
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Hey, my darling!
How you going, my brother?
My sweetheart, I'm okay. How are you doing today?
I am feeling
I'm I'm very glad to see you.
I am happy to.
You've been through a lot.
I am happy to be in your presence.
This lady been through a lot, eh? And she's
I
still
want-
here.
I want to share this. What am I saying, 90? In 2020, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. As the one he's been talking about, what positive,
ER positive.
ER positive. I knew nothing about cancer, nothing. It has never been in my family, nobody close to me. However, I felt a lump on my breast. I told my daughter, feel this, you know, what? She said, yeah, it's a lump, it's definitely a lump. Mommy, you have to go. So we went to Yale and we did the full works, and then they had to take a biopsy, and you know how that works. And I have 2 daughters and 3 sons. My eldest son, I must mention this, that he was like, Mom, I don't think you should go doing this radiation, whatever they did. No, I'm not for that, you know. I said, all right, but let me still check and see what's happening. My 2 daughters, they have breasts. So of course, the fear factor was high. I spoke with the oncologist and the attending nurses, and so I spoke with my brother here, and he said to me, radiation causes secondary cancer.
That's right.
I said, all right. He says, let me tell you one time, it will affect you. Sometimes I forget the name of the gland. Thyroid gland, it will affect your lungs, it will affect your heart. But as they say, I went brave. Because my daughter, my elder daughter, well, she a little more frantic than the second one. I went in and I did it. I took the radiation. They told me, like how many, I call it blasts. So first, to begin, they went ahead of themselves. That's how I call it. And I think it's still there. They inserted that. What you call this thing here again? Say it. To where they would put the, they would give me, yeah, the port, that killer. Well, yeah, that's how I call it anyway. So I went in and got the blast. 1, 2, 3, probably about 4 or 6, 4 to 6, I'll say. And then I called my brother one day, because I started to see the discoloration. And he exclaimed, oh, look how they burn you up. So I know it was a disaster flag. He said, how many they told you you're supposed to get? So I sent him the information. And he said, nah, you don't need that. He said, but didn't the oncologist tell you that he left a clean field? He did tell me that after we left. So, yeah, he said, well, then you don't need all of that. Why they want to give you that whole list of radiation blasts, I call it. So I spoke with the person there. I called and I asked, I'm supposed to get, let's say, 24 blasts of radiation. And what would happen if I miss, because sometimes my daughter can't come and get me at the time or to take me down there. And so what if I miss, one or two, and how will that impact on the continuation of the treatment? Oh my goodness, no, you will have to start all over again. I said, so wait, if I have 10 already, and I miss 2, I have to start over from 1. She says yes. I said, oh, I see. When I answer you like that, you know it's goodbye. I'm like, oh, I see. And I never went back. Oh, no, you will have to. I said, no, I don't have to do anything, honey. Bye. That was me. They had me on a tablet, a pill, some sort of pills that was not on the market yet. I do not know how this will affect my body, how it will affect me. So I'm taking it as something with A. I forget the name of the thing, but it was a hard journey. I was not myself, and my son said, Mommy, that is what you call fatigue. I said, well, I always thought fatigue, because I learned that from home, Trinidad. Fatigue is like when you're overtired, you're fatigued. And my grandmother would talk in Patois, fatigue a cow. In other words, you over-push yourself. So I thought that was it, but I would get up and have no interest in doing X or Y. I would have to drink whatever, to eat whatever, I just blah. Then one day I told my daughter, I want to cut my hair for me. She said, of course, Mommy, your hair long, I'll cut it in steps. I said, did you hear me say steps? I said, cut on. She said, no, Mommy, that's really a cut. I said, if it will do you any good, I will save it. I wouldn't throw it away. And that is how I have this, because I added it when I came back to myself. My brother was informed. He said, sister, no. They found what you call it? There's something they call it on the lung.
A spot.
But they call it on the family load. Another thing, they found whatever on the lung. Nodule, thank you. A nodule on the lung. And they found that my heart, the left ventricle effusion, had dropped. My mouth is my mouth. I am me. So I said, well, that never happened prior to radiation. Oh, well, we can't say that. I said, no, we can't say that. I'm not asking you to say it. I am saying it because I am the one suffering with it. So I trusted my brother. He's got me some stuff, sent me the stuff, and I was taking it. Heart health, healthy heart or heart health. And listen, the full works. You hear mentioned B17, the full works. Then I started becoming Pamela again. Yep. So I lived, I changed my diet and everything. And then when I started, my daughter would want to take me out for dinner, had a birthday come in, and I wasn't eating. Oh, come on, make a little piece of fish. It wouldn't take under the deli, little fish and a glass of wine, it wouldn't do it. I wasn't drinking anything. I said, listen, I am good, I'm here good. Mommy, but da-da-da-da. So anyway, I went. July the 1st, I was by my daughter's house. I babysat her little 4-year-old. And I was awakened out of sleep with this irritating, annoying feeling here. So she said she'll call 911 now. I had experience with this 911, I don't want light siren action. She said, well, if you manage, I'll take you to the ER in the vehicle. I said, yeah, I'll manage that. When I put my foot down, I make all kind of hokey eye because it was excruciating pain. Never had that kind of pain before. I got myself outside, we got into the vehicle, she took me to the emergency. From the time I went in, I cannot say I was not well treated. This test, run here, do that, and they end up having me in a bed, they did everything, x-ray, whoever, whatever. And then I was waiting at St. Raphael's for a bed at Smilo Hospital. Because, you know, your information will come up, they check it out. Then, in the morning, the doctor came and he said they're going to do a biopsy. So he's the attending surgeon. Hi, good morning, my name is blah, 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 whatever, whatever. I'm looking at him and say, hold on. July 1st I came and I had excruciating pain. I appreciated all what was done. 2 sets of people met, say ortho and cancer. Cancer people met and have, you know, conversation and so on. And these 2 sets of people arrived at a decision. And you're coming to tell me that you are one of the people who are going to be doing whatever on me? I say, hold on. Let me tell you something. I find that totally disrespectful. This is me. This is mine. And you all made a decision on your own without consulting me, without telling me. I say, I'm not against doing whatever, you know. But have some respect for this. Oh, doctor, he do the head. Oh, I'm so sorry. I want to apologize on behalf of my colleagues. I said, no. You don't owe me any explanation. You have no apologies. The guy who made the decision, he owes me that apology. The next thing I know, the head surgeon, he came and he apologized and blah, 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 blah. We went into the operating theater. While there, he said to me, what he's going to do, he's explaining to me now because, this woman seemed like she want to know. So he's explaining to me they're going to do the rod to stabilize because I messed up the whole part. I snapped my leg. My femur broke. Because home, I had to get something done. And so it broke. So I had to come in there and they had to put it back together. And then because they did the biopsy, I think, in my civilian thoughts, I think it further weakened the leg. There was a mass found in it. So that means it's cancer. So he went in to find out what was what and what. So just doing the biopsy on the OT, he got the report immediately. So I think he didn't see the need to stabilize the leg and put in the rod. So I went home, and in 3 days' time, the femur snapped. I had to come back to the hospital, and then they did whatever they had to do. The same thing that he said he was going to do primarily, and I would not have had that experience, but I trust the Most High. He's leading, and I went, and this happened. So there is a mass here. They have a shadow here, and they call it deposits in my spine. But all praise to the Most High, I know I'm going to get over this. At the same time, I saw a video my brother put up, and he talked about his stem cells. And I'm speaking to people, my people, and I said, this is something like what we call it home, a dashing patch. You'll clean the dashing, clean up all the leaves and top, but you see that what's below there? That's the stem cell. They did not attack that, so that is why it come back 5 years' time. So here I am at stage 4 cancer. I have no fear. I trust the Most High's guidance and leading of my brother Patrick Dells. And I told him, as I told the doctor, I am going to be the spokeswoman for breast cancer and all of that information about the stem cell. So I'm not just here to say and to buy and to get, but I am here to raise the flag up high for my brother, Patrick Dells. And I told him, let me say this piece, I told the oncologist when I went to visit him, I have this, I said, I have my herbalist. What is the word, Richard? I was just saying, correct terminal. Not the, naturopathic. I said, this is my naturopathic guy. He is my naturopathic doctor. He has me alive. He took me through the ravages of radiation, and I am here today. So I want him on this team moving forward. You know what that guy said? He said, yes, of course. And went on to prescribe what he thinks is best for me. And then said he's going to give me an infusion. I don't know what this infusion is about. So I tell him, John B. just talk to me. So I said, go and check it out. So I sleep and wake up. Listen, I'm on drugs. Oxycodone, Tylenol, in and out. Some things I don't remember. Tell him I said something I don't remember. He was sleeping. Anyway, I checked it out, and lo and behold, that oncology infusion is what I told you they prepare the pot for again. Is two things they give you, radiation and chemotherapy. Right there, it says chemotherapy. I said, ooh, he's a slick one, but I'm thankful that I learned beforehand. So guess what? Guess who's not going to take that? Moi. If he could help me, listen, simple sense, simple common sense. If I come to you with my head hurting me, and you help me put Bailey, one of the full works, and I get all right, and I go on by somebody and I go on and I do the same thing over there. And I come, will you help me the second? Not that he wouldn't, you know, but you will think, you'll give me any consideration, and I come back now with the same headache? Come on, it's human. It's human. You will look at me, sister, what you do? What did you do? No, I'm too old for that. So,
Bye-bye.
thank you very much for me.
Okay. Arthritis. What type of arthritis? There's different forms of it. On your knee, is it osteoarthritis? Is it osteoarthritis? Okay. Well, osteoarthritis is just inflammation. Yeah? So we have, I didn't bring anything for arthritis, but we have a product called Joint. But I have a product called Joint Formula. So I want you to, you have a pen and paper in hand there? I want you to Google a company called Allergy Research Group for me. Google it, Allergy Research Group, and look for Arthrid and Matrix. Okay? Arthrid and Matrix. That company run by some great doctors. And just look for those two products, and they're going to take care of your osteo, okay? Yeah? It's called Arthrid and Matrix from the company called Allergy Research Group. Okay? Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you all for coming. Blessings.
Okay. Let's put our hands together again for.
Mind if I say something really quick, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it working? Yeah. What's your name again?
Pamela Joseph Smith.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Same here.
Now, as a helper of Pat, you was long-winded, and I was going to say, should I cut her off or not? Because I know how our people is.
Yeah.
People like, oh, man. But one thing that God told me right there, I've been to a lot of funerals. And a lot, you know, as you the reverend or pastor, you say, can you limit your conversation about that person 2 minutes, right? You ever heard that? And they did. So my mind was saying, cut her off? She's alive.
Thank God.
So I will never limit what you got to say, because you can talk.
Thank you, sir. That's why
The dead can't talk. So I let her go with her story as long as she going to go with her story. And I thank God for having you here with us.
Don't forget, we have an acupuncturist right there. Look, raise up your head. Yes.
Right over there.
Yes, Ms. Deborah Taylor, she's coming up the acupuncturist soon. So when you all going to get her number soon, when you all ready to get joints, pain, and all that kind of stuff, she's going to be ready, okay? Blessings.
All right. I see you all getting ready to go, and I want to really thank you for coming. Now, I think there is some names that may want to speak with Patrick afterwards if you do have the time. He will spend a few more minutes just to accommodate those who want to speak with him. Now, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We have, of course, here we have our herbalists, our master herbalists coming over, and you can see there's a lot of products here. And if you realize, this program was presented to you from the Francis Family LLC, which is an independent company of Faith Lighthouse Restoration Ministry. And there is a partnership that is now been formed. And of course, there will be a clinic that is going to be here. And my wife will talk a little more about the Francis family and where the relationship here between him and Patrick. They will tell you how we will proceed going forward, because we don't only want you to come get all this information and now you want the product. Now you would like to talk to him and have some private consultation, and you're wondering when again he's coming, right? So we just want you to understand that this is something that we are establishing. It's pretty much everything is in place. It's just to bring the information to you and to let you know how the contacts, how the arrangements are going to be made. And of course, she will share that with you, and she will let you know how you can get in touch the products, and of course, she will have the final remarks. And thank you again for coming. Before you leave, I have on the screen, we are celebrating our 38 years anniversary. And I will put on screen, if you do want to make a contribution, a donation towards our ministry, I'll have that information on the screen while you are listening. Thank you again.
Good night, everyone. As you know, my name is Andrea Francis. I want to thank you all for coming. When we thought about this program, we did not know who we had in mind, but now I see who God had in mind to be here tonight. We don't have a packed sanctuary, but whosoever God wanted to be here is here, and we are grateful. Master Herbalist, we are grateful for you that you made it here to Connecticut to be with us. And I thank each and every one to be here tonight, and I know everyone have something to take home. And we are here whenever you all feel free to make a phone call, right? As Pastor said, we are going further, so we are going to establish to have some of the products here selling. So whenever people need products, they'll be here, right? So the number is going to be established. My number is 917-346-5068. And another number is 203-981-0714. Again, my name is Andrea Francis. This is my husband, Pastor Francis, and we are here to help as best as we can. I'm a living testimony of God's grace and mercy and of the herbs that he created right here, right? The doctors tell me that I have aneurysm. As a matter of fact, the first time I met Patrick, my blood pressure was through the roof. And when I saw Patrick and Patrick start writing, and Patrick said, boy, this is a rough case, this is a case. So I said, I get scared, and I said, what happened? I can't manage it. He said, yeah, I can't manage it, but it's a rough case, man. You understand? But praise be to God, here I am today. My blood pressure is, I have a patient, a person taking care of, and I said, last week I said to him that, look here, you're taking medication, I am not taking none, and my blood pressure is better than yours. By what? Using herbs. So let us be encouraged. And I know everyone is here tonight because we need something. And one of the things that I realized that we are here because we know that there's healing in God's creation. Right? So let us utilize it to the best of our ability. Let us encourage each other. Don't be afraid to take numbers and call and say, how is this going? How is that going? Because this is how we're going to build the community. By communicating, by asking questions, by giving information. Information should be free and not be secret. As Patrick shared all his information. So whatever we have, let us share it. Let us be brothers and sisters. Let us live in unity, starting today, and build a family and grow health. Amen? Yeah. Amen.
All my products here soon. You know, anything that you want, you're gonna come right here and get it. Instead of coming all the way down to Brooklyn. All right, yes. Yes, my brother, love, man. And don't forget to love your neighbor as yourself, yeah? Wonderful.
So whoever wishes to speak to Patrick at this time. Yes, sir? Yes. All right. I have the emails for everyone here, so I will send the information.
Right, because
so everyone can have
we'll
it.
We'll be having a lot more seminars, and I'm sure some of them we may be doing on Zoom with